We're getting close to the end of the alphabet with our D&D Classic Monster Collection, but today's set includes only 2 letters, S and T. Place your bets now on which classic monsters from the first edition you think will make the cut. So with thanks to WizKids for sending this set our way, let's take a look at D&D Classic Collection, Monsters S through T. Humblewood is one of my favorite 5e settings. It is a beautiful and lush world that is home to a complex society of animal folks. The new Humblewood Tales 5e supplement book features more than 200 pages of expanded lore with new adventures, creatures, magic items, and shops, a gazetteer of the great tree city of Alderheart, and so much more to enrich and inspire your Humblewood adventures. Gather your party for new tales from levels 3 through 8 as you encounter pirate mercenaries, face off against a slime king, and take on the god of shadow and trickery and an otherworldly nightmarish dreamscape. What tales will you tell? Check out Humblewood Tales today using our link in the corner or in the doohickey down below. Salamanders are elementals from the elemental plane of fire, where they have a feudal culture based around metalsmithing. So there are salamander kings and salamander queens and dukes and duchesses, all the way down to salamander peasants. Now, a while back, the Red Wizards of Thay struck a deal with the Salamanders to have them invade one of their neighbors. But the Wizards, surprise, surprise, didn't hold up their end of the bargain, and so the Salamanders turned against them. Also, in case you're wondering like I was why they're called Salamanders, apparently in our world, way back in ancient times, it was believed that Salamanders were born from or immune to fire. One thing to keep in mind is that this mini is a medium, while the Salamander stat block, both in 5e and the new 5e, I don't even know what we're calling it yet, are large figures. Next up, we have a Satyr, which is a woefully underrepresented race in D&D, I think. At least when it comes to minis. It is a playable race, most recently featured in Monsters of the Multiverse and the Mythic Odysseys of Theros. Gosh, remember that one? Satyrs are basically just fun-loving partiers and natural bards and performers. Plus, they're fast with a 35-foot walking speed. They can jump really far, and they're resistant to magic. So think about them the next time you roll up a character and you want to play maybe a bard. And yet another Shambling Mound. We've had quite a lot of these minis recently. There was one in the Shattered Obelisk set, and before that we had one in Eberron, Rising from the Last War. God, remember that one too. And then most recently we opened up one in our Baldur's Gate booster sets like a couple of weeks ago. It makes me wonder if they give any consideration to the timing of these things when they're putting these mini sets together. I kind of wish this slot had gone to like a Sahuagin or a Sphinx or something. But I do kind of like this sculpt, and it looks like Swamp Thing when he's in dire need of a haircut. Now, I do like Stirges. The idea of an overgrown giant mosquito is just inherently scary. And then they will always make me think of the great Pathfinder one-shot, The Feast of Ravenmoor, which was immortalized by the Glass Cannon podcast. Look up their show, Side Quest Side Sesh. I think it's around episode 12 where they start off The Feast of Ravenmoor. It is arguably the best work they've done, and you will never look at Stirges the same way again. This is definitely the showcase mini of the set. This autumn-colored Treant is great, though I can't help but thinking that the body is just a little bit derpy looking. Almost too human, but that's what this classic set really is. They're based on the first edition art, and if we're being honest, a lot of that original art was just a little bit derpy looking. But this mini is still great, and I would still totally use it. I think it's fantastic. Speaking of derpy, the Troglodyte mini here is derpy in just all the right ways. I think he's adorable. Troglodytes have gotten way more monstrous over the years, but I really love this design. Their whole shtick is that they're foul-smelling, barbaric lizards. The Duragar call them stink meat. They're unfortunately another D&D race that's historically one-dimensionally evil and sadistic. I think they're due for a new creative pass to make them a little bit more interesting. But this mini here, I don't know, I really like this mini too. It's painted really well too. And finally, we have a quite interesting troll who looks like he pulled off the leg of that treant from earlier. I love all the boils in his body, though the hair does feel a little bit weird. But if you've been here for a while, you know I love trolls. Battles with trolls are often really interesting due to their regenerative abilities, and there's just a ton of interesting troll varieties. WizKids, give me a troll warband with an ice troll and a dire troll and a troll mutate and a rot troll, spirit troll, venom troll. There's so many to choose from. I don't care that that kind of warband doesn't really make logical sense, but I still want it. It would be great. I know I sound like a broken record when it comes to these boxes, but they're all pretty similar. The figures inside are generally quite interesting variations on minis that we may already have, and they're all quite well made and painted. If the sets were priced under $50 each, I think they'd be really easy to recommend, but when they're closer to $80, you really have to quite like all the minis in the set before you can commit to picking it up. And because they're so varied, it's hard to get use out of all of them. It's not like when you're playing the Curse of Strahd, so you go pick up a Curse of Strahd box set and you get to use every mini in the box. So this one's a little bit of a harder sell. Classic Collection Monsters S through T is expected in February 2025 for between $70 and $80. Let me know what you think about them in the comments section down below, and of course keep in mind I do go on sale from time to time. And this is the penultimate set, folks. Just one more to go. Monsters U through Z is expected in late summer, early fall. That set has an Umber Hulk, a Vampire, a Wight, a Wraith, a Zorn, a Yeti, and a Zombie. Guys, that Umber Hulk, that Vampire, they really went there with this last set, and I'm here for it. We'll show you those figures in full as soon as we get our hands on them, so be sure you're subscribed here so you don't miss it. I am curious to see if they do anything with this classic collection line after that. Don't forget to check out Hit Point Press and their new book, Humblewood Tales, for a really fun set of adventures and a setting with tons of content to explore. They also have some fantastic unpainted minis you should check out. And yeah, that's it for me today. For now, please stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I'll see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.